Wings Ducks tonight. Wings with a loss fall to 9-8. They have not been good lately. They got dump trucked by this Duck team to finish the road trip. They got bombed by the Blackhawks, bombed by the Rangers. I can't kill you for a 1-0 loss to Vegas. The point is you haven't played good hockey. And with a loss tonight, I think it's 5 out of 6, you end up in a spot where you basically wasted this good vibes, good start to this deal. You're not scoring again. And I wanted to ask a question because I am not going to be authoritative about this. But when I have watched, I come away that two veterans who make a combined close to, $9-10 million are useless. I mean, they do nothing. They don't shoot, they don't pass, they don't go very fast, and they don't hit anybody. They do nothing. I mean, Comfer and Cop, I asked Kenny about this, and he termed it different. He goes, well, Michael, you ignoramus, we use a different term in hockey land. I go, okay, sure. He goes, we don't call them useless. We call them low-event players.
I remember this.
So I just wanted to talk to the hockey elite about a number of things, which is, okay, once again, this team can't score. I feel like every third game, I see whoever's in net give up 4 goals on 18 shots. And they are on the precipice now, if they lose tonight, that, in my opinion, you completely squandered the hot start. Mm-hmm. If any or all of that offends you, whoa, feel free. But I want to have the conversation. Am I allowed to say it's a big game when it's only game 17 on the season or whatever the hell it is? But I do feel like you've had some rest. You've had the opportunity to kind of, all right, we're going to put the way we played last week in a shoebox. You got to get this one at home tonight because you do have a tough stretch coming up. You do have the Devils coming up. Columbus is not a pushover. I know there's always going to be some dregs in this league. But like, Rico.
No, Mike, it is because it feels like, seems like you lose and everything that you did at the beginning of the season is gone, all for naught, and all of that good vibes and good feelings that you had about this team and thinking, okay, now that the coach has a full year under his belt, he started at the beginning of the season, we're going to turn this thing around, and now it's kind of looking like, okay, we're not as good as we thought we were. So I'm with you. Yes. I don't think it's too early to say, especially because of the start that you had. Now it looks like you're in the middle of a collapse, that you need to put a stop to this and get this thing going.
Yeah, and look, obviously, Calgary is a different brand of inept offensively. They're barely scoring 2 goals a game. You're in a glut of the bottom 5 teams in the league that are sitting at or around 2.5 goals a game. It's the same problem. It's the same thing. So I would just like to know, now, Kenny, this is where we need you. Have I overstated, embellished, or outright lied about anything I've said? Am I completely out of my depth in making some of these light assertions I've made? Any or all of it?
I think this is as big as a 17th or whatever game of the season can possibly be. My only issue with calling it a big game, and you're right about everything else you've said thus far, by the way, is if you're at that point, I think that means the games are mattering more, and I don't think they are, because look at what they did to start the season and then look at what they've just done. This is what this team is. This is who this team is they'll get very, very hot, get everybody's hopes very, very high, and then go very, very much the other way. And that's exactly what they've done. We've seen them do it, especially in March. Jeez, we've seen them do that in March a lot. It feels like March is always when the season crumbles, and the month right before, they could be on a gigantic heater, So I caution you to not pay too much into this one single game, because for all we know, next week they could go on a run and beat some really good teams right in a row.
No, I know that. It's difficult because you don't want to have to see this team catch lightning in the spring. The way they started the year, you felt like this year could be different. Hey, look what happens when you don't have a garbage can coaching and you have McLennan. Full year, he's here. We made some changes. We're off to a great start. Well, I'm not going to say it's collapsed, but every game you drop, every amount of this stretch that extends, you either partially and or totally vaporize what your advantage was.
See, but my point to you, though, also is I think you were bang on when you said that they'd be squandering what they did to begin the season. In fact, I would go as far as to say they've already done that. They're out of the playoffs right now. If the season ended right now, which obviously very small sample size, so let's not do that.
No.
But they're below the wild card line.
Okay, then they have. So look, we're not overstating anything. I understand the regular season's a death march, but it just struck me. They had this gap in the schedule. That was an embarrassing couple of games at home. You got to win a game like this. Just like if we're going to excuse you on the West Coast, dropping a game, no big deal. Hey, now Anaheim, who did play the other night, I think they played Tuesday night. Look, you got to beat this team. By the way, Anaheim's your highest scoring team in the league.
At home.
And by the way, this is the best time to do this because Florida right now, also out of the playoffs. Toronto right now, also out of the playoffs. Teams that you're supposed to be fighting for these spots with, actually teams that were supposed to be way better than you.
Yes.
So you're not fighting these teams for those
But here's the
spots.
problem, and Kenny, I know I shouldn't let this bother me the way it does, but the Blackhawks and Rangers, not good. And you lost to both. Those are games that when we flip the script and you're looking at the schedule, you go, okay, these are a couple of games at home against non-playoff type teams should win. And you weren't even close. Like, that's the problem. You're not going to get these games back. And every year, while I'm not going to obsess every game, we have this same conversation where it's always like we're looking for our keys at the end of the season. Honey, where did I put my keys? In this case, the keys are playoff points. And you're like, man, I can't find my keys. No, you left them in November when you got bombed by Bedard and the Blackhawks.
Those were your chances to get those free squares that teams like the Leafs and teams like Florida are giving you when they're low in the standings and also losing. This is your chance to gain an edge, gain a little ground. I'm not saying you're better than those teams or you can beat those teams frequently, but at least put yourself in the best spot.
Am I unfair to the veteran signings that I've been soured on for years now? You call them low event players. I call them wastes of space. No, am I out of line?
I don't think you're out of line. And what have we always said about Steve? Is his strength is his drafting and his weak point is his pro scouting. And boy, do you see it. I mean, I hope he's right about this John Gibson Talbot duo. It seems like he might be, maybe question mark, but now we're bringing up Danielson. And I mean, this is my point, is young guys are going to be young guys. And if you can't rely on your pro scouting, boy, that's a real problem.
Hey, don't worry. Year 7's a gap year. Next year, that'll be the year we get it right.
Now, just you wait.
Just
in 2
wait.
years
the
from
kid,
now.
Well, you wanted the kids up here. Here you go. It's like, yeah, it's year 7. Where are the adults in the room so that the pressure isn't on the kids?
And you'd compare it to a Scott Harris type of a deal, but at least he was able to have some form of playoff success, whereas, I mean, the deadline goes around every year, and it seems like we're doing little to nothing.
Yeah.
And even if you do something, do you trust his ability to pro scout in order to add to this team?
No, I don't. And I don't think that's insulting, but there's just no credibility in Yzerman's NHL-level acquisitions. There's just not. I don't think I need to be Don Cherry to tell you that. Like, should I be wearing a poppy? Does it give me more credibility? Like, here, go up and down the list of pro scouting under Steve Yzerman's tenure here. I'll wait while we celebrate Boxing Day over here. Want me to throw some toonies at the screen? Like, I don't think, like, you know what I'm saying? No, but you don't have to be on NHL Network to have this take. Like, I always love how Hockey Fan gatekeeps it, that because hockey's not my favorite sport, somehow what I'm saying isn't true. That's not the same thing.
No, they don't want it to be true.
Well, I can't help that.
That's the difference.
I can't help that.
You don't know the nuances.
But that's why I asked the question to Kenny.
You don't know puck.
Okay, well, is there some puck metric that makes my opinion about Kopp and Comfer wrong or woefully malfeasant? No.
I believe most of the metrics would speak to exactly what you've just said.
Well, then, Pepperoni Boy's right again. I don't know what to say. Oh!
I really feel very uncomfortable with you.
It's
David, do you too as well?
Yes, I do.
Like, I can't join these two when they do that.
David calls me way worse during the break. You should hear him.
Stop it.
All right, 248-539-9797. We get to the Hockey Elite next. Is it a big one tonight? What do you make of this Comfer Kopp thing? And if they lose tonight, is it a fair statement to say they will have completely wasted the hot start? All of that, do whatever you like with it.